in spite of everything that's happening, I hope we're not so distracted and so worried that we are not praying and studying the word and seeing what Christ, the master teacher, really has to teach us. Why do we need to be praying, studying the word, and seeing what Christ, the master teacher, has to teach us? Because he has the answers. It's as simple as that. And his life shows a lot of things that we need to learn, lessons that we need to, learn from. Jesus never advocated for racism or classism. Never for segregation or anything like that. How do I know that? For racism, as relates to racism, John 4, that whole chapter speaks to when Jesus went to the well and met the Samaritan woman, and he asked her for water to drink, and he conversed with her, and his disciples even came back and they were like, why are you speaking to that woman? Because the Jews saw Samaritans literally as dogs. They didn't see them equal, but Jesus sees everybody as equal. That's why he came and died for us. Every single person of every single race that was ever born. The next thing is classism. Now, I'm not even going to put a verse for that, because he was always with the poor, healing them, helping them, feeding them, and children crawling up on his legs. He never cared about class or where you are in society. Even when Mary Magdalene came and poured out, the oil on his leg, on his feet, it's like, and everybody was like, why would you allow somebody of that, low reputation in society to do that? But Jesus never worried about those things. He never worried about what people thought of him as it related to him ensuring that he came to do his ministry and he did what the Father told him to do. And that's what we have to do. We can't be running here and there because of all that's going on and be confused. Another thing, we can't be the type to either advocate for violence either. So with all that's happening, we can't advocate for violence. Jesus never advocated for violence. How do I know that? In the situation where he was being arrested, when Jesus was being arrested, Peter cut off the ear of the servant of the priests who came to arrest him. And Jesus, who was bounded, released himself, healed the man's ear. He should have been the one that was angry, but he even helped the people who were persecuting him. So we have a lot to take from that. I'm not saying we shouldn't speak out, but there's no need for violence and there's no need for hate. Hate goes both ways. It's hard either way, but hate goes both ways. Another thing, each time I have to go back to Matthew 24 because it's so relevant to know. Matthew 24 verses 6. And it goes, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. Very important. See that ye be not troubled by all of this. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nations shall rise against nations. Nation here, when you look at the concordance and see the meaning of that Greek word, it means, well, the original in the Greek, it actually means race. So it's race against race. Kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence, earthquake in diverse places. Diverse meaning strange places. I don't know if you remember the time when we had the earthquake in Greece, and the point that all these things are happening. All these are the beginning of sorrows, just the beginning. Sorrows here mean labor pains, a woman in pain, a woman in having baby. So the point of all of that is, at the end, it's like the contractions are coming far apart, then until they're so close that the baby is coming right away. And that's what's happening with the world right now. All these things were happening before, but they weren't so intense and so rapid right behind each other. Were we just talking about COVID? No, everybody's talking about what? Rioting and race wars. So I would just like to draw back our attention to God, to making our calling and election sure, to making sure that our souls are in the right place, to make sure that we are right with God. We have asked for forgiveness of our sins. We have forgiven those who have trespassed against us. Yeah, that's basically what I wanna say to us. It's not that these things, grace and so, is not important, but if we were following God, none of this would have happened. As I said, Jesus never advocated for any of these things. So if we were going along his plan, these things wouldn't have happened. So I just like to encourage us, be not troubled, as in the words of Jesus. These things will happen, he told us. And as Christians, as those who believe in God, we should be at peace in the sense that we know that these things were going to happen. So we should have that, yes, we're in the world and these things will affect us. But we shouldn't be troubled and worried and of no solution, having no solution. The point is, God is coming. Are you ready?